It's Motocross Destinations 2023 here from Ernée France. It's time for track walk. Let's go. So if you're fast enough to get the whole shot, you'll be faced with this uphill double, which leads you onto a track with a ton of elevation change. And there you have it, guys, the finish line, downhill double into what can only just be described as a very tight left-hander at the bottom of his heading into the paddock area. You'll have a chance to check out your pit board, see where you're at, see how badly you're doing or how good you're doing. But yeah, that's the start corner. That's where we all finish things off. So as we're walking here, I noticed that there's a little bit of a raised section on the inside of this corner. Obviously, the outside might be fun to rail, but the fast line might be to cut things down here. We've got some cool music playing now. What I also noticed in the track, if it'll focus, is tons of this. There's lots of wood chips and mulch, but this is not soft whatsoever. This is hard. You get this in the goggles, you'll be not loving life whatsoever. It's quiet here today, but come race day, this whole section here, which is probably about 3 football lengths long, 3 football fields long, and then this whole section here as well. That'll be nothing but fans from every nation you can possibly think of. All here, screaming for blood. I love it. All right, if you're feeling Danger Boy sendy, you might send it all the way to this roller here, or maybe the one before it. Head through these rollers, and then up to a couple of uphill doubles. This place has some serious jumps on it. Serious question, are you hitting this? If I'm not mistaken, the landing to this is at the top of that hill. That's gotta be 100 feet to the very tip tail of that thing. The face is pretty steep. I don't know, dude. Through the rollers, a short approach to this very steep takeoff that leads to this uphill triple that is no joke. You come up short on this, you might be going home early. So you get to the top of this triple and you think to yourself, man, maybe I'll save some time by going to the inside. Nice try, bud. They put these 2 inside rollers. Some crazy son of a bitch is gonna try and double these things, or I don't even know. Maybe you go to the inside and then like kind of drift to the outside, cut somebody off, just saw off someone's front end, but I think I'm going outside here. I don't know, you guys can let me know in the comments where you'd go, but I think I'm going outside. Shortly after that sweeper, you got this downhill step down. It's not big, but it is technical, and you're gonna wanna grab the inside corner right here, maybe cut this off, because this is a lot steeper than it looks going into, it's not a big tabletop. So you're gonna scrub so much speed off that thing, and you're twisting downhill. So you don't wanna be on the outside here. So this is not the first time that Ernée has held the Motocross Destinations. Of course, they were here in 2003 when US, I believe, came 2nd or 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. They were here in 2015, and they're back here now. And of course, they were supposed to be here in 2020, but of course that race was canceled. And they keep coming back here, and I don't understand now why. This track is absolutely gorgeous. The elevation change and just everything about it, I'm really impressed with it. Like, this doesn't give me, or Kirby's is in my way. Look at this place. If you didn't make it out here this year, put it on your bucket list, because this track is absolutely gorgeous. Check this out. Like, This track is literally carved out of the side of a hill. You better have brought some horsepower with you because it does not mess around. I can't really do this justice because camera never shows the angle of this, but this is a very steep hill. Like, you're coming from down over there and all of a sudden you're way up over here. What's cool about this though is that outside line, you carry all kinds of speed, you're hitting this takeoff right here. But on this side, there's nothing. There's nothing but this takeoff over here, and then you can land to the third one. If you happen to jump off of this takeoff right here, you're landing where that other takeoff is. So you have opposing rhythms heading down this rhythm section, which is this sort of like flowing rhythm double section, which is really cool. I love this section right here. So here's a look at the tail end of that jump section. You see where that was the top of the hill right there. You're gonna jump all the way through here. And then at the top here, you have, again, a choice. A little bit of a bump on the inside, gonna drop you into this off-cambered section. If you're racing here, you might feel like you're turning at all times. A nice berm on the outside, but honestly, I think the inside line is gonna create a rut right about here. That guy's gonna be able to hook around and then sends you off into this section, which I haven't even looked at. I'm just looking at it with you guys for the first time. You head downhill into here and then another hairpin. If I'm not mistaken, you're gonna have another inside rut right there. And maybe if you've got a bad start, you're gonna rail these two outsides and pass them dudes. All right, so for those who are watching and you're wondering what kind of soil do they have here in Ernée, it's honestly, it's kind of like a mulchy, loamy mix. I think it's gonna get very hard packed. You can tell there's a lot of clay in here. And yeah, there's a lot of wood chips to hopefully break some stuff up and not have it so one-lined, but I would expect this track to get really hard and really technical because yeah, you have stuff like this that is just kind of gonna keep busting on people. It's gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be a fun track. Hook that hairpin corner over there and it's basically straight uphill, across hill to this turning uphill that you better bring some horsepower with you. You better have some speed when you hit this uphill double right here. So you've got a progressively tighter turning uphill corner into this takeoff, which is no joke, sending you up to the top of the hill here. You're gonna have to be on the gas in a major way to land at the top of here. You do not want to come up short. Of course, when you land, you're turning immediately into a set of rollers, and I don't have to walk the track more than once to realize that that CD jump at the end of this roller section is an absolute, one of the most steep downhills you will ever encounter in the sport of motocross. It's no joke. I think I'm in for a pretty beautiful sight when I get to it. And as usual, I was wrong actually. There is a right-hand turn that goes into a really steep downhill. This thing is not to be messed with. You're gonna hit a small take off, clear onto, that is a very steep downhill. I don't think I'm gonna walk that. I'm gonna look at that and come back up. I got a lot of miles to put on this week, so. But check out this view. One of the things I love about Ernée is that it basically comes with a grandstand. This hill right here faces the entire track. The entire track is in front of this hill. Obviously they have some pit area and some activation going on behind that. But if you're sitting here, you got a good spot. The entire track is right in front of you. You have this whole section over there, and these are a couple of hills, and the start is just up over here. So pretty neat, and yeah, find yourself a nice spot of grass there. You won't be able to see a single blade of grass tomorrow, and the following days. But yeah, this is gonna be pretty neat, and it's not gonna be muddy whatsoever. The weather here, gorgeous. Take off underneath the monster arch, and then send it down into the corner. This thing's steep, like that thing's out there. I have to get myself some liquid molly to have the courage to hit this. I don't know where you'd be hitting the brakes. I'd be probably hitting the brakes right there. rail the berm and just start picking gears. This takeoff, honestly, a little bit more mellow than it really looks on video. And not really, it's not a big jump. This is maybe probably 40 feet out. So once you're carrying enough speed, hopefully you have enough speed and you've got enough motor, you're just going to the top here and hanging yourself a right. Get yourself up here, and then you're going to have your wits about you, because this corner is actually a lot tighter than it looks. This is maybe the most dissed up the soil you'll see here. That's a straight up, that's a rock. That is a rock. Maybe I'll kick that off to the side. And by kick, I mean grab. See ya. That is a massive rock. I should have been wearing steel toes for that. This right-hand turn gets progressively tighter into a small downhill double. All right, so you're gonna come through that corner here, downhill, and you better get on the binders soon, because this corner is extremely tight, inside or outside. Neither one seems like an awesome option. This is a very tight corner right here, heading off to the finish line. So that's just about a lap here at Ernée. Inside, outside, no matter which one you choose, you are heading through a very tight corner toward the finish line. Finish line double, absolutely gorgeous here at Ernée, France. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a lap here at Ernée, France 2023. Gorgeous racetrack. Can't wait to see how it races. I'm so glad that I've got a photo vest so I can put on the miles and some serious steps. Taking my time around this track for the next 3 days. It's absolutely stunning. That's the finish line. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me and Verb Moto here from Ernée. This place is absolutely gorgeous.